is insane how quickly knowledge goes away if you do not use it. I was trying to fill out this muscles sheet, and to be fair, I only got 2 wrong. Just like trying to remember the origins and insertions of some of these muscles that I quite literally just had an exam on 5 weeks ago and I got 100. Humbling. The same thing for breakfast every single day, and it hits every single time. I never want anything more. Sourdough, avocado, feta cheese, egg. It's really dry where I live right now. The skin, like right around my mouth, is so prone to cracking and getting just like extremely flaky from no moisture. So I really cake on my moisturizer. Sometimes I'll even end up putting it on, and like an hour later, I'll see my skin start to dry out and I'll put on another layer. This video is basically just an update on how my first day of college went. I didn't record anything yesterday. I did record all of the day before my first day of college. I tried to upload it as a short and it didn't work, and it just ended up posting to my main channel as a vertical video, but with those like dumb black bars on the edges. I don't know if I formatted it wrong. I'm going to eventually try to fix it. That video did not do well. My first video, thank you so much to everyone who watched. It got, I think it's like almost to 60 views, and I gained 4 new subscribers. So thank you all so much. For me, that feels tremendous for a first video. And if you want to know how I prepared for my first day of college, go ahead and swing over to that not short but uploaded video to catch yourself up. I didn't record anything yesterday because I was feeling really overwhelmed. I have not slept good at all the past 4 nights, I want to say. Just lots of laying there and not being able to fall asleep, even though my eyes are really heavy, waking up, going back to sleep, waking up, going back to sleep, and then lots of stress dreams. I wish it wasn't like that, but that's just how things have been. Last night was no exception. I always have my Kindle on deck, ready by my bedside, and I read from 3:30 to 5 and then went back to bed. Been feeling pretty tired this morning, but trying to get a lot of things done. But anyways, yesterday. What happened yesterday? A lot. I don't know if it was because I was running on such little sleep or because there were just so many things going through my head, but the day felt extremely hectic. And to sum up the one big event that happened yesterday, I dropped a class. Right now, I am in a genetics course, and when I registered for this genetics course all the way back in October, I also signed up for what I thought was the lab that was linked to the course. For those of you who have never had to take a college course with a lab, basically whenever you sign up for a course, it'll say that it has a co-requisite and a linked laboratory, which means in order to get credit for the course, you have to take the lecture and the lab. The day I went to buy my things to prepare for the semester, I realized that may have not necessarily been the case for my genetics lab. When I was reading the syllabi for all of my classes, putting in dates, blah, 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 I realized that the syllabi for my genetics course and what I thought was its corresponding lab weren't mentioning each other in any way. They had completely separate instructors. They had completely different structures. Their content wasn't really lining up. And I've had lectures and labs like this before. They seem like they're supposed to be connected. They essentially have the same name, but they're actually not. So I emailed 6 different people on Monday. Monday was a holiday. It was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so no one was responding to me, which is fair. But I still had things for that lab class due that Monday at midnight, which is why I was freaking out about it. Like, I don't know. Go with that what you will. Things due on MLK Day, a holiday, but whatever. So I ended up emailing my health professions advisor, who is supposed to help me get into grad school. They're not in until next Monday. After the ad drop date, not gonna work. Emailed my advisor. They're not back until today. Wasn't gonna work. I was supposed to have that lab today at 9 a.m. Emailed the advisor for the biology department. They told me to email my advisor. Okay, already tried that. Emailed the biology department, and they got back to me. And I got the best news ever. The lecture and the lab I was registered for are not linked. Thank God. I will say another reason that I really didn't want to do this lecture course is for 2 different reasons. Number 1, if they're not linked, I'm not taking the lab. It's 2 credits, which is money coming out of my pocket. And reason number 2, this lab was going to be an incredible amount of work. I've had labs with incredible amounts of work. Usually, there's a pre-lab, there's a post-lab, there's things you have to be doing to prepare for the lab itself, content you have to know, usually a quiz. This lab was all of those things, plus 2 midterm exams, and then plus a couple of other things that reading my mental health was deteriorating. I already have a pretty stacked schedule. That's something I talked about in my very first post, was feeling overwhelmed with all of the things that I already have. And so basically, all of yesterday was a scramble to see if I could get this lab dropped. The main reason I didn't want to just instantly drop it, even though I knew that they were linked, is because I actually had to reach out to one of the grad schools that I am taking the course for to see if that would be acceptable. I'm in my last semester. I have no more time to slip up and recover. If I were to have dropped that lab without knowing if the university I'm applying for would take it without the lab, was not a risk I was willing to take. Luckily, they ended up reaching out to me and I was able to drop it. And now I know 100% all of my prereqs will be done and I will be able to apply. And that's pretty much all that happened yesterday outside of actually going to my classes. I'll try and insert a little snippet of what my previous versus new schedule looks like. I know it doesn't look like much, but that giant block of time from like 9 to noon on Wednesdays and then dropping that recitation on Mondays really makes my schedule look a lot better. And just the visual representation of it and knowing that I'm going to have a lot more time to balance my jobs, my volunteer work, my club organizations on top of my schedule was just really mentally freeing. So if you look at my schedule, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I only have 1 class. That is that genetics course. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays are by far my busiest days. And yesterday, because we started on a Tuesday, I went through all 3 of those big classes. I don't know if it's once again from the lack of sleep or just from senioritis or from not being in an academics headspace the last 5 weeks because of break, but I am already exhausted. Like, I was starting to answer questions that I didn't know and was already like hitting a wall. Don't want to go talk to anybody about it, but it's only 1 more semester. 1 more. And low-key, when I say that and other people say that to me, it doesn't make me feel any better. So I think what I'm going to have to start saying is 1 day at a time. You can't get anything done without doing things 1 day at a time, and I think that's a lot more manageable. I can plan out the next day. I can plan out the next week for things I have to do, but when you say 1 more semester, I'm thinking about all 16 weeks all at once. So for now, I'm just going to try to get through this day. I only have that 1 class later in the afternoon, so I plan on maybe going and working out, getting something productive done. I was trying to get a head start on a lot of that work, which, I mean, I could stop and be comfortable, but I feel like if I do try to push through some of this uncertainty and like push through that wall that I'm feeling, hopefully my mental headspace for being productive and studying again will start to come back. Or maybe I really do just need to get a solid night of sleep. But yeah, I just wanted to give that little update on how things were going. Feel free to comment below how the start of your semester is going. I would love to hear about it. I want this place to be somewhere where people feel like they can talk about their academics, whether they're good, whether they're bad. Everyone has feelings that we can relate to around school. That's really all I had. I'm feeling very grateful that I was able to drop that course and get a little bit of my mental freeness and well-being back. So anyways, that's all I had for today. I will talk to you guys later.